Hello, this is FG back with you for Anbennar. Today we are playing as the Counts League, which is mechanically the most unique adventurer in Scon, just because they're not actually an adventurer, they're just a remnant. Well, I guess besides Marhold, but Marhold at least is kind of pressed up against a mountain while we're literally just in the middle of everywhere. Alright, I went ahead and gotten this set up, which involved us losing all of our crown land because I granted out the privileges as well as religious culture. Because, oh boy, we are going to need as much money and everything else as possible. Because I have tried this one time before, I made some mistakes, which I will not make again. Yeah. Turns out vassalizing the entirety of Inner Ascon is a bad idea for Liberty Desire or something. I don't know. As the sun enters its descent, Carlian Blacktower continued to trot around his recently attained estate. Its palatial nature would have allowed many to be distracted, the previous bickering owners for one. Those who had all but destroyed the last hope of Castellar with petty disputes even as the kingdom lay in ruin. But for him, the air of the place tasted strange in his lungs and prevented finding such peace here. The deal that they had made to keep this place weighed on him. The truth of why they had always been so patient hiding in this sanctuary amidst the ruins of what had once been all their homes. He remembered the flight across Anbennar, all the members lost along the way as they fought to join the nascent beginnings of this resistance, where the minor nobility had gathered after the major died first. Carlian looked back to a time where his only worries were the sordid history of his forebears, the disrespect of chivalric Ascan. When he could breathe and smell the apples, they grew back home, a place all but unknown to his daughter Callista, somewhere he might never see again if he failed leading his people out of their redoubt. Lyrian had saved them, his constant bulwark. She had kept them from joining the ranks of the Sour and Dour, amongst those who survived the Green Tide only in that they remained breathing, with all that made someone alive drained from by harrowing experience. Valerian and Callista kept him from feeling that same pull. The arrival of Korn's circle had revitalized his friends. More so, when he came to them with the plan to remove the incompetent, scared prior hegemon of the League. Rescuing Lothane had been a welcome bonus, Carlian taking a liking to the half-orc, finding in Lothane's normalcy hope for all their futures. The messenger pigeons had come with news of the previous day, its contents why he had taken time to consider by his lonesome. A newcomer of the court would be, like the Silver Dragon, she had not stayed long. He had redeemed Agrados of all beings. Be hope yet for those inheriting a loathsome pact. He wheeled about and cantered home. He still lived and still had a beautiful daughter. Old he might be, he'd see Castellar restored and full yet. Alright, so we have started with and we want to go ahead and a Horns Fall. The fight continues. Alright, with Horns Fall we get what was that again? Yeah, 20% settler chance. Alright, Master of Arms is a good ability. Additionally, Marhold is a good alliance. I'll marry them. And then... yeah. I'm also studying... what's it called? Not evocation. Summoning. Or, what is it? Conjuration. Because there is a buff right here for conjure supplies, which we need proficient conjuration to get, and it gives us settlers. So, I figured that would be good to, alright. Let me go ahead and get that, and then we shall join her crusade. As we begin to reclaim our homes, already reports come in from our outriders that confirm our worst fears regarding the accursed pact our founders made with the Hag of Oldhaven. People have already begun to go missing. Not many for now, but enough, and never a trace of orcs that we can be sure this was the price of the deal. We still cannot break it from our end, so the price is more anguish and toying torment from that creature. It isn't enough to truly be felt in terms of an impediment, but that only makes it worse that the individual lives of our people are being snuffed out and lost, and that we are forced to move on. The tales come back in similar patterns, carried in whispered rooms of taverns as they begin to pile up. A distant voice lures away one person, they don't come back by that night. The next, that same person's voice calls out to another, a wife or husband, and they're gone too. In some cases, then the children vanish the next night again, and then once more. It seems the Hag of Oldhaven delights in the slow torment, and having people cower at night, unable to grasp the shape of the wicked things that come their way. The only reason we even know any of this is due to the kindness of some neighbors who take the children in once they realize both parents are missing. Such simple kindness breaks whatever spell is brought upon the home, and yet so many are paralyzed and unable to be helped in this way, even with ample warning. Alright, so we can do Black Tower Legacy. House Black Tower was named after the Dark Citadel of Val Vertesk. Compared to many of the other houses of Ascon, there is little to be proud of. Vinak's son and first heir was called Carlian the Inadequate for his lack of magical talent. Yet, the Carlian Black Tower who leads us today is far from inadequate. His story is the start of a new legacy, one where the past exists as a challenge for us to overcome, and we shall not disappoint. Alright. And next we can get the first steps back. The old leadership hid, too concerned with surviving only for themselves and not in reclaiming the homes of all those refugees and displaced people that have found themselves in our sanctum. It's time we cowered no longer. We must stride forth and take steps to rebuild what was lost, rather than preserving what little remains. Alright, additionally, we want to... relations here. And we need 200 relations, which shouldn't be too difficult. This will be done very soon. No. Alright, the extra money is excellent. Nope. Nope. Alrighty, a bond with Blue Tusk. When Corn Circle came to the Council League, the prior leadership had Lothane Blue Tusk imprisoned for the nature of his birth, of being a half-orc. This foolish suspicion was the inciting incident after months of passivity that prompted Carlian to launch his coup and give support to the Circle on their way to Castaneath. Since, Carlian has endeavored to keep up his letters with the Corntari leader and has maintained good relations. Alright. Then we want to... royal marriage with Griff. I'll do that. Orc ambushers. State. Nope. Solve it ourselves. We'll solve it ourselves. Please stop bothering me. Okay. If we can get both of them on board. And anyone else hate? Okay. Iron hammers we can do as well. And then we want to increase with our allies. Alright. This doesn't do anything. New world missions also doesn't do anything. Although, it might make sense to actually take exploration ideas and simply unlock them and do that for the assimilation bonus. Obviously, we need 10 favors from everyone. Agenda of the diet. Yeah, we can do that. That'll be easy. Alright, excellent. And we can do this in a few months. We do actually want 3 infantry. Even though that will be a little bit costly. Alright, we're just gonna have to wait. Yeah, we have that. We'll summon familiars for right now. And then we want to see land. Alright, we no longer have no points. Just a lot fewer. None of these provinces are any good to develop. We do want that one. Although we want probably Sarwick. Yeah, Sarwick. That's the one we want. Oh, we are collecting from here. We want to transfer from here. Merchant effects. We want the mercantilism. Education for the poor. And then we can get that for significantly cheaper. And just mark that as a province that we want to try and discourage the AI from migrating into it at least. Alrighty. Doing... Yes, just waiting here. Alright, we're gonna have to go to our Merchants Guilds and take the debt. Because we want to pay these off. Will leave us with a far smaller amount of money. This poor soul's in. Okay. Just give me more settlers, please. Estate magical thesis. Excellent. Conjure supplies. Alrighty. Spellbook. Obviously want to go for enchantment. And yeah, we'll let the humans in, obviously. We're humans. Alright, and we want to get this province once we're done with this. Okay, we will go ahead and do this mission, which will mean developing this a whole bunch. Migrants arrive. What if I... Okay, I can carbohydrate them. run amok. Yeah. Right, so here, I want to do this, and this needs to be 10 development. Alright. Delineating borders. The southern white wall, those on the eastern side of Inner Castanor, are the buildings into which we have made our home as part of making our stand. To this end, with how the adventurers have scattered in the wake of the Battle of Castaneath, we must limit the potential for chaos and doing our best to establish our sovereignty over some of the old borders, and by doing so lay greater claims to our providence over the whole of former Castellir. Alright, we'll do that. Then we want to do this. And then... yes, we want all of those. And then I assume that they probably want that. Yes, they do. Consort of the people. Alright, so what we want is declare like this. Do they want... they do not want that in Northern Province. Alright, so declare war. How did I... Amrahar, mercenaries... I could do mercenaries. And just hire the cheapest adventurers possible. Alright, so for them, I want to take them as a vassal because we're going to need to do that later. And as well, we can sit here and loot for a little bit. Alright, so how did I? Yeah, and the rivalry. Excellent. Here we want these two provinces, as well as whatever money they have laying about. And then we want to get rid of how many? Or two, we can get rid of two. Yeah, and I don't need them anymore, but still like to have them because they're cheaper than an equivalent number of regular troops. Yeah. So for the price of mercenaries... yeah. Actually, I'm gonna switch these guys because those are the ones who need the... yeah. Okay, we can do Marled. True relations there. Oh, Yeah, we're gonna be very in debt for a lot of this campaign, if you have not noticed. Alright, we're gonna have to move in here. Alright, good. Oh, we can drop a fort down. That'll save us some money. And then corruption. Summon animals. Let me just try this. Feral animals. Okay. Fair enough. Okay. Let's do some loan fiddling. Take out loans to merchants guilds. Army maintenance. What do we want? Yeah, we want to curtail the nobility. Yeah, 2 development in Old Haven. Pretty good. Alright, that up. Pour that up. And now we want to start here. And we come right here and we'll just mine out from them. Yeah, we do want the better units. We'll do the man-at-arms. Our Urian is done. You know what? We are actually gonna go attack them for money. Importing iron, we do want the military power. Oh, come on. I do that? Alright, so from Plunghead honest, do that. And I will send one right there. Alright, and here we want to find out where. Alright, so we have now secured our southern border. Excellent. We now no longer have the ticking autonomy. Yeah, we do need to pay for that. Nightmarish cackles. Factor grass matches our reach mean there is little room to run or hide. The portents are dark. Alright. Feral animals, pretty good. Especially because they cost me nothing. Well, at least they reinforce quick, even if they're absolutely terrible at fighting. Alright. Now we're proficient. And we want to... Advancement, study magic, enchantment. Alright. And how much magical? Alright, we can take that for the moment. We have defeated the Dog Eater clan, but the cost is great. With all the death and destruction Xcon has gone through, there are only so many Castellarians who can wield arms, especially when we also must allocate human and material resources to the repopulation of our lands, ensuring that the only people left to inherit when we are gone. There are people left to inherit when we are gone. To that end, even strange bedfellows must be made and drastic actions taken. Who shall till? The situation is clear. Whatever we might think of destroying all that came with the Green Tide, we do not have enough people to fully restore our old economy. As much as they do not truly belong here, we do not have the ability to remove these orcs without fritting away what little remains of the flower of Castellarian youth. We will instead bring them to heal first, while allowing them some autonomy so they work for us, and eventually ending this in time when our strength is more fully recovered. Alright, so... Is there anyone else? We can try and improve relations with them. Down. Okay, yeah. this one can go here. Still have the supplies, we do. BD celebration. Former inhabitants return home. Manpower, population. Alright. Under supplies for the extra. Where is Nurchester? Oh, Pioneers Guild is right there. Why do you not want to be my friend? We would do so many good things together. Speaking of which, doing good things, where is Arboron? Yeah. Side of Mage Influence. So I do want to slowly crawl my way up there. And development for Arctic Keep. Yes, I want that next. I believe we require that for that mission. Eventually we'll need a second Orcish vassal. Which could be Seradier. Actually aren't any natives there. Why don't you like me? Adventurers. Do that. And economy actions. Yep. All right. Haven. Yeah, should be able to get all but a couple of provinces. And we'll need to take the quicker we take. Why don't they want to be friendly towards me? Send a vicious insult. Alright, does anyone else want to get in an alliance? No. Offer alliance. House of Riches. Ally with them. Try to keep this cleared out, so we're good. Uh, we want to take this. How long till we get Renaissance? A while. Just gonna throw that down, even though it hurts my income. And then here we can do this, and then we can go exploration. And do New World missions. And we can get rid of it for that assimilation bonus. I don't think we're probably gonna get too many assimilation events. It would be really nice if we did. Then here we want to do relations with them. And here we want to improve relations. Shit. And man, I really want to go in on Blade Breaker. That would also require me to get Brave Brothers involved. Tech-wise, Tech 6, we'd be able to do it. How much longer till this gets done? 2 more years. And what kind of influence actions? Still need to improve with them. Are they full monstrous? Yeah, they're full monstrous. I don't know how Clouded Eye works. I haven't played them before, but I do know that they're supposed to be like the what's it called? They like demonsterize really quickly is their whole thing. And we can do quantity ideas, but we want to take this first. Alright, we actually have positive relations with our lovely little vassals. Yep. 50 ducats for a free colony. It's gonna grow a lot slower, but it's free. So yeah. That's bad though. Income-wise, we're currently nearly paying 2 ducats. That is quite bad. Colonial discovery. Yeah, we're lower on admin. And what do we make here? We must curb such excess. Alright. Getting a little bug right now. Okay, that's Ardent Keep. Send a colonist right here. Yeah, we'll get on that. Then we can stop at least paying for the, Oh, we actually did get an event. Alright, so now we need more loans, because of course we do. We're now at 2.5 ducats. We can take that. We do want a lot of men. Ooh. That's good too. That's point. Who wants to buy? Nobody does. Yeah, we can boost stability at some point. Our 46,000 versus them. Tech-wise, if I build to my... Okay, I can build that. And then I want to summon animals. And we can summon the feral animals. This time we get 6,000 of them. Okay, if I was to attack them, that'd be 50 ducats. And that would get rid of all of them. Not 50 ducats, 50, what's it called? I actually don't lose the native colonial stuff. Okay, and they are allied with those two. Claims on arrival, Marhill, 10 prestige. Alright. So what we want is this, subjugation, and then we want these three, and are they allied? Okay, yeah, they're actually allied to people. So we want to, we have here, okay, we want to wait at least a little bit for that. That was a little mistake. Festival of the Owls, do that. And here I want that. Oh, wrong one. Subjugation. Our lovely little vassal will actually help us with their little 5 regiments. Um, okay, Nurset has now been finished. Okay, these guys can cancel military access here. Currently just waiting for mana to be generated. Okay, Blood Gorger. I do actually want to go up here. Yeah, we can do this for another 14 months. Alright, so for Bladebreaker, 60 aggressive expansion. Yeah, that's fine. Alright. Bone Carver. This and this. Excellent. And 9 months. It's our mana generation. What am I doing? We want that. Half orcish people. Yeah, we like that. Silver Docks. Silver Docks. And we, of course, want that one. can send feral animals right here. They do actually get a general. They kind of suck. And yeah, I don't expect them to be able to win that, so I'm gonna have to deal with that myself. We'll laugh at our army. Yeah, laugh. Alright, so now we want to enchantment. Mass charm. So for these guys, we're going to take these two provinces, which will set Blade Breaker a lot. Make sure that autonomy kicks in. Not that the autonomy, but the other thing. And then here, we want to vassalize them and take their money. Then I want to take out another loan, do that. Now we can come to our Merchants Guild. Definitely Merchants Guild. Alright, we are now down to 1.5 ducats. Which is good. We have all of those. Fortunately, aggressive expansion is going to be very high with these guys, so let's do allies and subject countries. Don't want to be infernal. Okay, and do this. Conjure some supplies. Act a negative. Shared interest. Yeah, that's good. Although, I'd actually probably prefer to urge development. Do that, and this needs to be what? 16. Fine. And guess what? You get to take out more loans. And we need to drop that down. Good. Spare no expense. Coalition has collapsed because there's not enough members. Alright, culture-wise, we actually look really good. Brave Brothers, sure, we'll do that. And yeah, that's 4,500, but at this point, we have the tech to be dealing with it. Alright, and Severed Ear is actually done perfectly. So we will be able to deal with them later. Beginning to make right. Okay. It started slowly. Couriers coming in saying that for once there had been no disappearances in this past week, but we all knew this couldn't be true salvation, and it only indicated that it would be the beginning of the end for whatever the hag Bolt Haven's plans were. These outriders are then followed by more recent ones who give us the worst news. All around the nation are charmed mobs, causing trouble and seizing control of what they can. What's worse is that these charmed individuals are clearly those who have been missing all this time under the strange masks they wear. While in most parts of the country they have been repulsed and put down, it seems are required to do this by foul puppetry. In Oldhaven itself, the largest of these mobs is thousands strong and has marched to the epicenter of the cursed land with the hag herself at its head. She seems to be conducting a dark ritual, and all of our hedge mages can feel it all across the land. Whatever she channels her efforts and all the sacrifice and energies to, it cannot be good or right. We must take back the country and finally put right what the founders did wrong all those years ago, for the redemption of House Blacktower in the name of Carlian and Callista, and for all that is good in the world, we must still fight for it. Alright, so we want this, and then Carlian will become a general. It's time to do or die. We should not be marred by this pact any longer. And then we want Carlian. And like that. Yeah, save the realm, Patrick. Okay, I assume, yeah, that was Nortmere. Or, Warden Hall finishing up. Alright, enchantment is good. Now we can do this. We've done it against all odds. We've beaten back the crisis that came to our doorstep, and we will see the break of a new dawn on the other side of the long night that was the deal the founders made with our wretched creature. Our fate is our own again, and it seems time that we all come together and enjoy this when so much could have been lost. We may never know what the hag intended to do, but we are safe now, and as a bonus, the wound upon the world left by old Beastbane that she sought to exploit has been healed ever so slightly. The wound still lies there, but whether from a karmic hunger sated by the passing of a hag who sought to exploit it, or whether its own strange tribute to our heroism, it shall no longer ruin the land itself. Alright. Against all odds, our path is ours to command once more. Alright. New Dawn has broken. And we also can do this. Also worship an Eswick. Carlian's closure. Carlian fought like a man possessed during this confrontation, finally getting the chance he desired from so long ago to face down the hag of Oldhaven. The one who besotted the Count's League with her influence, and being able to put right that travesty with his blade. His presence as a leader and his obligation as a father pitted him against all that those who consorted with her had chosen to throw away. He led us constantly, and in the end ensured our survival, cutting a swath through the last mob as the hag was felled. Yet even in death she wove a final price of the bargain into an otherwise flesh wound from a stray arrow in this most bold of heroes. Racked by pain and yet comforted at the end, Carlian asked Callista to promise him to do her best and to be better than he was, to fight harder, to overcome the barriers he never could, and to outdo him in all respects. Her tears flew and flew. his tears joining as she thanked him for everything, for doing it all for her, her mother, and their nation. He was comforted in these last moments and found peace, that he had kept alive that which he held most dear of all, and left her with a great nation to rebuild. Carlion was perhaps the greatest hero since Corn herself, at least to Castelier, and now his time is ended. His time had come, he did what he swore to do. Alright, we now have Callista in power. And with this, we can do... I'll do this one, and then Callista is a tactical genius. We'll go with that. We do need to annex the Clouded Eye relatively soon. We have a claim on them. They have a claim on us. Oh, they have claims on all of us. Well... Yeah, we'll need to figure that out. Alrighty. I want to thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and have a good day.